Okay, welcome to part 3 of CSS Grid. Today I'm just going to create this basic website or blog with a nav bar spanning the whole width. We've got some medium boxes on the left, a main content in the middle, and small boxes on the right, and then the footer spans the whole width as well. So I've just set up this code pen here, and I've just set up this container with 9 items. I've just named them navbar, medium, main, small, and footer. And I have the container, just the background color, width and margin, top and bottom 20 pixels, and left and right auto. And then the item, each item inside here has a background color of teal, padding, font size. We'll just take a look at the design and try and figure out what to do. So from the design we see we have our 9 elements, so the nav bar, medium, main, small, and footer. We can also see that the nav bar takes up the full width. The first thing we're going to have to decide on is how many columns and how many rows. So we're going to have to design our grid. So for our rows, it's going to be quite easy. You just usually take up the smallest element. So we see we've got one, so this is the smallest one, so we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 5 rows, and then the columns will be 1, 2, and 3. So 5 rows and 3 columns. So how do we do that? How do we set this to grid? Display grid. Now this doesn't do anything because we haven't specified the sizes of our rows and columns. So how do we do that? Grid, template, start with rows, and we'll give the rows, how many rows did we say we needed? We needed 5, so we just do a repeat. 5, and we'll just give them one FR, one fractional unit for the moment, just to set it up first. So now we've got our 5 rows. For the columns, we'll give them, we said we needed 3 columns, so we'll just do 1 FR, 1 FR, and 1 FR. So now we've 3 by 3 grid, or 3 by 5. I'll just put a gap in there so we can see. This just gives it gutters a gap of 20 pixels. And we go back to our design. So we want the nav bar to span the full width of all the columns. So we'll just use our SAS again. In order to select the item dash dash number, we just do and. This is SAS, so and we'll select it. I have SAS set up here, so if you go in here, just in case you haven't seen the other videos, just set that to SCSS. That means we can use SAS in our CSS. So in order to select item number 3, we just put in this and sign and a number 3 after it, and that selects item 3. We want this, actually it's item 1 we're trying to, the nav bar we're trying to span, so we just do grid, rows, grid, grid row, and we'll do 1 minus 1. That will span the whole row across. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. This spans the row all the way down to the bottom. It's actually columns. So it's grid column we want to span. We want to span all the columns, not the row. Okay, so we want to span the whole 3 columns. So column 1 to the end, minus 1. And we don't have to do a grid row on this because it's the first one, and the placement algorithm for CSS Grid tries to place them in the order that they are in the HTML, so 1 to 9. But we'll do it anyway, just to make it implicit, or explicit, sorry. And that would be from row line 1 all the way to the row line 2. So we just copy this, and we need it 8 more times, so and 2, okay, one more time. So we have our 9 items here, and as you can see, it's put one on top of the other because 9, the footer is the last one, 9, so we're just going to have to comment these out for a while. I should have commented them out before I copy them all. But anyway, you can just speed it up if you want. Okay, so we're back to where we were. Excuse me, at the start. So number 2, so item number 2, 3, and 4, we want them as the medium boxes down along the left column. So I'll just turn on the grid here and bring this over a little bit. Where's the grid item? Okay, there's our container. Let's just click on the grid and we can see what the line numbers and for the rows and the columns are. So we want our medium boxes to go in column 1 to 2 and from row 2 to 5. So just uncomment this. Grid column 1 to 2 and rows 2 to 5, or well, the first one will be 2 to 3, the next one will be 2 to 4, or 3 to 4, sorry, and the last one will be 4 to 5. And we just uncomment these, and now they should line up, medium 1, 2 and 3. So here we specified the column 1 to 2, and then we specified for each medium box the row that it's on, so 2 to 3, 3 to 4 and 4 to 5. For the medium, or the main section, we want it to go from 2 to 3 in the columns, so 2 to 3 in the columns, and we want it to go from 2 to 5 in the rows. Now we see that the small boxes have lined up perfectly because the placement algorithm for CSS Grid will try keep the order of all these divs in the container, or all the grid items in the container. So that's why it's after placing these perfectly for us. Now you could just explicitly give these position, which you probably should, but I'll leave that to you, you can do that. So for the footer, we just want it to span the column all the ways to the end. It's already done that, and we want the row. We don't even need the row, I'd say, but we'll just put it in anyway. It'll be row 5 to 6. And you'll see now this is pretty much set up the way we want it. The only thing we have to do now is to give it the right sizing. So the nav bar is a small one, footer is a small one, the mediums, so we just say 100 for the nav and the footer, 100 pixels, 200 for all the rest of the rows. We'll try that and see how that looks. So up here in our template definitions for the sizes, so instead of the 5 rows, we'll just do repeat. We'll do 100 pixels for the nav bar. We'll do 3 200s for the next 3 rows, and we'll give it the footer the same 100 pixels at the end. Now we have the layout pretty well done, and Now we just have to do the width or the column sizing. So for this, I'm just going to give the medium a 30%, the main 50%, and the small 20%. So 30%, 20%, and, oh no, 50%, 50% and 20%. And that's probably it. So I'll just turn off the grid overlay and just take a look at it. And that's it. It's pretty much the same as this one. So this is what we had, this is what we were going for, and this is what we came out with. That's how you would do a blog or a web page layout using Grid. That's the basic layout using Grid, but you obviously can do more complicated ones, and we'll do them later on in the next few tutorials. So if you liked, please subscribe or like the video or comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.